Hey eBay, longtime seller here, and we're at we've ended 2024 and we're already midway through the first month of 2025. But I have gone through last year's numbers, and I want to give you a breakdown of what I've done and my performance levels, what I see, and the changes I think that have gone. And I want to share this with you. And these are true and actual numbers, so I'm going to show you the actual numbers that I did on eBay last year for 2024. So we'll start, let me switch you around here and I'll show you my screen here and I'll go through. All right. This is my report for last year. And you can see that I had gross sales of 199,000, which was a 20% increase of the year prior. Now, in 2023, I was working a full-time job, so that explains why that number jumped up, because I had more time to devote to my business. All right. Now, my eBay fees on my sales was $11,375. That is the fees that eBay collected from my sales. Here's my total selling cost, $93,000, right? Almost $94,000. 47, let's say 47% of my total sales went into total selling cost, which includes everything. And then my net sales, which is not counting this is what I made, was $94,545. So I made almost $100,000 last year off eBay. But I'm also down 9.5%. My sales went up, but my profit went down. So let's see if we can break this down and see where it is. So my quantity sold, I sold 9,200 items last year, and my sales went up 22%, which that's good. My average sales price was $21.67, which went down. So the reason it went down is the economy's tightened up, and I accepted many more offers last year. And granted, I don't accept offers at a loss, but I will accept an offer if it's within what I deem the proper profit range for that item. So 1.5% on a tough year. I'm not going to say, I'm going to say that's not too bad, because 2024 was a tough year. All right, my sales via auction, they actually went up because I don't run a lot of auctions. And I did a few auctions last year, and you can see that's not much. That's like less than 1% of my gross sales. So I don't even look at that, because I'm not an auction seller. So, and I more than doubled it, which isn't saying much. So, because I'm just not an auction guy. Now my sales via fixed price, 198,000, which went up. So my sales weren't too bad for the year. I mean, it was a tough year. So we'll break this down. So my total buyers went up 24%, which is pretty good. Almost 7,800 buyers. My one-time buyers went up, but what I'm stoked about is my repeat buyers went up. I went up 60% on repeat buyers, and I think this happened because I sent out more offers and I created more coupons offering bundle deals, and I went in every couple months and created a coupon and sent it to my past customers. And by doing that, I think that increased the sales right there. And granted, it may not be a whole lot in dollar value, but a 60% increase in any number is, especially in repeat buyers on eBay, I think that's phenomenal. That's actually absolutely phenomenal. And I lay all of that to marketing. By what I did was create a coupon where I would create buy 2 items, get 20% off, or buy 3 items, get free shipping. Different coupons like that. And I would go into the tab and send those coupons every month or so. Say every 6 weeks, I would send that to all my past customers. And that definitely showed an increase there. So And you can see here my percent of repeat customers is 4.6%. And I remember 2 years ago, my repeat customer was like 1.8%, maybe 2%, and that was pretty good on eBay. But actually, 4.6% repeat customers. That's pretty good. I'm stoked about that. I can live with that. So. Right, and this just breaks down my sales by my categories and stuff, and so I'm not gonna. We'll skip past that. Here's my total sales. My item sales. I sold like $145,000 in just the items. Now some of my items do free shipping. The majority of my items the customer pays for shipping. So my shipping and handling fees were $43,000. And then my taxes were $11,000. So this is the important part. This is what I want to show you what happened in 2024. Now you see how my sales trend. This is January, 15,000, almost 20,000 in February, 20,000 in March, say 18 in April, 23 or so in May, 20,000 in June, and then all of a sudden July, August. Now that's summer slowdown, and I expect to see my sales drop a little bit in July and August, and early part of September. And you see they dropped in September, and that's normal, but it doesn't drop that much. But what gets me is, watch this, October, November, December. Look at what freaking happened. This right here. This has never happened in the 7 years I've been selling on eBay. This is the stagnant economy that we're going through right now. And it's a struggle. And let me see if I can, let me change this right here. I'm going to change this to, let me change some custom dates here. And I'm going to make this from, I'll show you what happened, how those numbers were in 2023. So you'll get an idea, and I guarantee you, 2022 is pretty much the same. I mean, because the percentage wise. All right, this is going to be for 2023. This is the report I'm making. Okay, and I'm basically only going to concentrate on that graph, and you can see there's my sales of 165. Fees, selling cost, net sales. Let's cruise on down here. Yeah, I might see my repeat customers, 3.6%. So they came up a little bit last year, and that's when I started. That was 2023, and I started doing the coupons a little bit then, and I really started doing coupons much more in 2024, and that showed. But now I want to show you this graph. You see this graph here? This is 2024, or I'm sorry, 2023. And you can see January and February is a little bit of a slow month for me. But if you'll notice, I'm pretty steady throughout the year. There's a little bit of a spike November, December, October, November, December for the holidays. But my spike's not that much. Over the period of the last 5 or 6 years, my sales have pretty much looked like this all year long. It's been pretty level. You know, you can see I am between 10 and 16,000, okay? And that's because of the holiday spike. But my average sales were like 12 grand, and it's pretty equal, right? Now, when you go back and we look at the 2024, that's when I really see the horrible end of the year. I mean, it was absolutely pitiful, you know. It is by far the worst year I have ever had selling on eBay. And look at this. You see this trending right here? That, I did nothing different as far as to detract from this number. I didn't list less. I didn't list worse items. You know what I mean? I kept up with the trends. I kept up with what I normally do, And I fought and I fought and I fought and I did everything I could do, and coupons and discounts and everything else, and down, 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 down. Man, let me tell you something. Actual sales, you can see what I'm selling and how much I make, and how much I put in my pocket each year. And the potential that's there, but I also want to show you the effect that this year's economy and the practices that the government put in had on the American economy. Because you cannot raise people's taxes, you cannot have this inflation and this willy-nilly spending of the government and have it not affect the economy. And it doesn't happen overnight. It took them 2 or 3 years to destroy what was a healthy, robust economy, and they absolutely freaking destroyed it. Any less hard? I worked just as hard, if not harder, than I did in years prior for less money, and I am frustrated about that, because that's not the way America should be. America has always been a country that the harder you work and the more effort you put in, the more you're rewarded. In the last term, did not happen. Now, this is this year's sales. This is January. This is going by day. This is not by year end. This is just for the month, the first 2 weeks, and these are daily sales here. And see, I'm not even used to this. I'm starting to pick up a little bit. The economy is starting to come around a little bit, but I'm really not expecting to see any real change in this for another 3 to 6 months, because it's going to take that long for a turnaround if the right policies and principles are put into place where the inflation comes down and people are not out there spending their money when they have to spend their money on gasoline and electricity and increased clothing costs and increased food costs and increased automobile costs and increased shipping and all the other increases that have happened over the last 2 years, and the increased taxes. Oh my God, they're taxing the hell out of us. But anyway, it's going to take a little while for it to calm down, and let's hope it calms down and gets back to some semblance of normalcy, So now I'm going to go over here and let's cover some traffic here, okay? This is my traffic. And you see, I still have people coming in. My traffic is still 400,000, say $400,000. I mean, I'm sorry, $400,000. 400,000 people a day viewing my items, I mean, with 11 million. Now, my impressions were down. Listing views are down. I mean, all these numbers are down, but a lot of it's just because people don't have the money to spend, and so they don't look at this stuff, and they're working. People are working overtime to take care of their families and themselves, and to make sure that. I know there's a lot of husband and wives out there, and mothers and fathers that are out there having to work harder, and I know many people that have come out of retirement and went back to work to help their children, their adult children, support their families and their support their grandchildren and even great grandchildren, and it's just ridiculous. So anyway, I really have faith in 2025 of being a much better year, and okay, let's cover the my seller level here. See, I'm a top rated seller. I'm top rated in everything, and I'm gonna be 100% transparent with you here. These are my actual numbers for this past year here. These are my transaction defect rate. 2 out of almost over 1,400 items, 0.14%, excellent. Late shipment rate, 0.14. Two were marked late, and let me tell you something. I didn't get them to the post office late. The post office scanned them late, but that's another story. But cases closed without seller resolution, 1. That one right there irritates the F out of me, because that was not me. That was all eBay, and it was a return or not item not received case for a gentleman in Florida who ordered something in the middle of the freaking hurricane and didn't get his shit on time and filed a claim. And I told him, I said, hey, there's a hurricane. Everything's delayed, blah, blah, blah. And eBay assured me that they got seller protection and all this. And let me tell you something. I don't have seller fucking protection apparently, because the one item that got there late to Florida in the middle of a freaking hurricane hit me with a defect. And so, but now this does not affect my top rated seller status. It's more of just an irritation. It's nothing. It does not affect anything, because if you look down here, you see for top rated you need 0.30 or less, and I'm 0.07, which is that's really good. But it's more of a, it's not that it would hurt my performance. It was more of, it's not worth my time to F with eBay and their call center to try to get that off. It's not worth my time, because it didn't affect my sales or my performance. So, okay, my tracking updated on time. Look at this. 1451. Tracking updated, uploaded on time, and validated. That means the post office validated, okay? Now, if that's the case, how do I have 2 late shipment rates if 100% were uploaded on time and validated by the post office? 100%. 100%. You see this? I don't understand how that's my fault. If I do everything I can, I process orders every single day. I make a trip to the post office 6 days a week. The only day I do not go is Sundays, and sometimes I go on Sunday evenings and drop stuff off in their drop boxes, so it's already there on Monday morning. So, but anyway, that's just more of an irritable point than anything else, and I don't understand that, but it didn't hurt my performance, so I'm not calling eBay to gripe about it. I'm just griping to you all about it. So, all right. All right, my transactions and sales. I had 8258 in transactions last year. That's not bad. Almost 8,300 sales last year. That's not too shabby. I got a report the other day from eBay, an email telling me that I was in the top 5% volume-wise of sellers in used men's clothing on eBay. Now, there are 18 million total sellers on eBay, and being in the top 5%, that's not a bad deal. I'm not trying to be number one. I'm not like Tekken Sports, who's goal driven. And now, don't get me wrong, I am goal driven, but he created a monster. Which hey, and kudos to him, man. The guy he knows his stuff. He was a hustler and a bustler. I'm an older man, and I was doing mine. I did all this part-time, all right? I worked a full-time job. I was doing all this part-time. I built all this up part-time, and this is my first year retired and still working a little bit of part-time stuff. So, all right, just for today, I've already got 10 items sold, 2 with offers, right? And this is my daily sales. Now, you see this number right here at Christmas, all right? I always have a little tick down at Christmas, okay? That was the 23rd, that was the 24th, and then the 25th, boom, it kind of bounced right back up. But these sales are nothing compared to what they were last year. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, the economy and let's just hope that the Americans sales are starting to come up. And when I went back and looked at the months prior, after the election, my sales started kind of creeping back up into some semblance of normalcy. This is not normal for me. These numbers right here, this is not normal. My sales were, this number here, this top number, 750, it wasn't 750. It said $1,500, and my sell chart was up closer to $700 a week average, daily average. I think I was averaging $680 a day in sales a year ago, and look at this. And now I would understand if this sales dropped because I was doing something or I wasn't doing something, if maybe I wasn't keeping up with on trends, if I wasn't sourcing good material, if I wasn't listening to things, I wasn't taking good, if I wasn't doing all the things that I do every single day and have been doing for the last 6 years, if I had been slacking off, I would understand this and I would say, okay, yeah, that's the reason. It's only, and I have started doing is I've started selling on Whatnot. And I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, but if you'll look at some of my videos, I have been pulling some of my old eBay inventory and putting it on Whatnot and selling the crap out of it. I have been doing really, really good. I've been generating, I'm going to say with 2 shows a week, I am putting probably $1,500 to $1,700 a month in my pocket for 2 short shows a week. My shows don't run long. I run my shows under 2 hours. I'm usually an hour, hour and a half on a show, and I'm doing that twice a week. So you figure I'm doing 3 hours a week in shows. I'm doing about 3 hours for preparing, and then an hour or 2 for packing and shipping. So I'm doing, say, 10 to 12 hours a week on Whatnot. And that's 40 to 48 hours a week, and I'm generating about $1,700 in income. So that's not bad for 48 hours. That comes out to a little over $50 an hour. Actually, I could probably do the math for you if I pull it up here. Okay, that's $35 an hour. That made $35 an hour on Whatnot. And personally, I like to make $75 an hour, but I'm not complaining. It's tough times right now, and so Whatnot's been my savior, and eBay has been. And it's not eBay's fault. It's the economy's fault, but I think it's a little bit of eBay's fault because I don't know. I've been really kind of disgruntled with eBay lately with their. How they've been treating the sellers, and I think this has to do with there's just been too much hate the last year and a half or so, where there's the media and the government has been sowing hate and trying to get us to hate each other, and it shows. So let's get back to loving each other, or you know what, you don't even have to love each other. Let's just be a little more tolerant. They were preaching tolerance and then making us or doing everything you could to make us hate each other. You know, that's not tolerance. Tolerance is, I don't have to accept you for what you are. I don't have to accept your beliefs, but I can treat you with courtesy and politeness that you treat me with. That mutual respect, and that's the thing. I think it's mutual respect. I don't have to agree, and I'm not going to agree with everybody's politics beliefs. I'm not going to agree with everybody's religion or your sexual orientation or a myriad of other things, and we're not all going to agree on the same thing. But the difference is, I don't have to agree with your beliefs, but I don't have to hate you for it, and you don't have to hate me for it. And you don't have to try to get me to believe in your beliefs, and you don't have to try to get me to believe in your beliefs. We can all live our lives with our own beliefs like we used to, without the hate and the anger. And I think that's been the difference. So, okay, hey, this has been kind of a long rant. I've been going on for almost a half hour now, but I wanted to share these numbers with you from 2024 and show you. And then hopefully when I do this next year and I show you these numbers, it's completely different and it's all up, okay? Hey, well, anyway, y'all get busy. Get out there listing and selling. Get out on whatever platforms you're selling on, whether it be eBay or Poshmark or Macari or Grailed or Whatnot and all the other shows that are places that are out there, and Facebook Marketplace. And let's get out there and let's get this economy pumping again, all right? We can all do our part, right? Hey, well, everybody, let's all have a great 2025 and we'll erase 2024, okay? All right, we'll catch you on the flip side. Long time seller checking out.